connecting element between them. So it'll make sense what I'm talking about once people out there read the book. But yeah, no, the number 7 was a big influence.
So hey, with Ready Player One, I think a lot of people who'd never worn a VR headset got exposure to the tech and to your vision through the book and through the movie. And part of the fun, I imagine, of being a sci-fi writer is you're also a futurist in a way. I mean, that's part of the gig of being a sci-fi writer, which sounds really fun. And I think, in Ready Player 2, I think you go even a little further, and there's some really exciting kind of vision going beyond that. When we at Roblox, we kind of done the same thing. We've had vision for 15 years, and it takes a lot of time for some of these things to become reality. But when they do, it's super satisfying. And I'm wondering for you, how's it feel when you see some things in real life come true, after you've written about them?
Well, it's gratifying, but I don't automatically assume that it was my book that helped inspire it, unless sometimes, like with the Oculus Rift, the people who worked on that told me in person that some things from Ready Player One had inspired them. But it's so much easier when you're a writer to just write, wouldn't it be cool, than it is to actually make it. It's like easy for me to design an amazing video game in a story.
Yeah.
But as you know, it's much harder to actually make the real thing.
I think that could be a good thing, though, right? Because us technologists, we can get locked in by how difficult it is to build stuff, where writers and futurists, you have the freedom of the written word, right? There's no limit to what you can imagine. And then the technologists more have to figure out, can we really build it?
Right. And they're the only ones that can really build it. If it was just left up to the writers, all this stuff would remain fantasy. But that's something that I remember hearing about Star Trek, the old Star Trek series. They had those doors that would open automatically. And that's what inspired those doors in grocery stores. Like people at home saw that, and then real engineers went and made it work. So science fiction has always kind of played that role of, extrapolating where our technology might go. But yeah, that's one of the funnest parts of being a science fiction writer, is imagining where the technology will lead us, and then how the technology, once it arrives, is going to affect people's day-to-day lives.
I love it, because I think it's the best form of brainstorming, is unencumbered brainstorming, without limit. And I think that's a little bit of what you do in your book. So nice job.
Thank you.
Almost like we're taking technology and then we go to pop culture at the same time. Like in Ready Player One and now Ready Player Two, you have this amazing intersection of pop culture with a vision of the future. And I think the reader or the movie viewer can almost get a little bit of a vibe of some of the things that have been important in your life. Can you riff a bit on some of the pop culture influences you've had?
We know they're endless. Anybody who read Ready Player One knows that my interest in pop culture is very broad. But for Ready Player Two, there are some specific facets of pop culture that I took inspiration from, like John Hughes films. Huge fan of John Hughes movies, especially the John Hughes movies that were set in high school. And he created his own fictional high school, Shermer High School. His high school movies took place like Ferris Bueller's Day Off and Kids in Weird Science, Pretty in Pink. They all went to a version of Shermer High School. And I was always fascinated with high school being the setting for all these, dramas about young people's lives.
Yeah.
And, especially The Breakfast Club. It's probably my favorite of all time. And I think 90%, 95% of that movie takes place in the school library, which ends up being like this social battlefield for the 4 kids as they get to know each other. And I always thought that was the library is a fascinating place to set a movie. And it might be the only movie that's completely set in a library.
Yeah, Breakfast Club, one of my favorites. I love the soundtrack as well to that movie.
Oh, so great. Yeah.
So good. Seems like the book was so fun to write. Are there any moments that you felt were super fun without giving away too much?
I don't think I can give away the super fun moments without giving away too much, but I will tell you it was, I had fun I had fun the whole time I was writing it. Because I knew, unlike with Ready Player One, when I wrote it, I knew I wasn't sure if anyone was ever going to read it. Outside of my friends and family. Whereas this, I knew there were a lot of people waiting and excited to read it, and that whatever I wrote, that story was going to play out. Those events were going to play out in millions of people's imagination, and imagination is even more powerful than computers or the movie platform. Like the human imagination, still you can't beat that. So I had a lot of fun thinking about elements in the story that would set people's imagination alight, hopefully. So that's what I did my best. I'm really hoping people enjoy it.
Well, I have a motion I make at Roblox, which is out of the park. So
Yeah. Oh.
I think it's out of the park. So I think
Oh.
everyone's going to really enjoy reading Ready Player 2. Like, kudos to you. It's awesome. And I think also the Robloxians are going to love the challenges as well that we've got in store. So, Ernie, thanks again. In the midst of all these crazy times, hanging with you has been a highlight for me. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for making time to talk with me, and thank you for teaming up with me to do another Ready Player One, Ready Player Two event. This is I had so much fun the first time because it really is like bringing the story to life. What you guys are doing. Roblox is the closest thing to the Oasis, and this contest is like the closest thing to the contest described in the book in reality. And people all around the world get to take part in it. It's really amazing. It's like bringing the story to life. So I can't thank you guys enough.
Thank you, Ernie, again.
All
Over
right.
and out. Really enjoyed it.
All right. Thanks, Dave.
Hey, this is Dave Bazuki, CEO, founder of Roblox, and I'm here with Ernie Klein. Hey, Ernie.
Hey, Dave. Good to see you, man.
Yeah, it's been a couple years. Last time we were together, we were hanging at South by Southwest talking about your first book, Ready Player One. But today it's Ready Player Two, and we're celebrating the publication in the US and the UK. I think it's safe to say this is probably the most highly anticipated fiction book of 2020. It's clearly on track to be a massive hit. I've read it. I'm blown away. It's worth it. It's worth the wait.
I'm excited for people to finally get to read it.
With Ready Player 2, we're going to see a lot of great stuff. There's another quest. There's some technical advancements that Halliday left for Wade that could change a lot of things. We've got a lot of action. I think, it's not just the future of the Oasis, it's even a bigger future at stake. Because you're a visionary and you're thinking about VR all the time, I think there may be even hints and advancements there. So there's a lot in this thing coming.
It's lots happened since I wrote the first book. I sold it back in 2010, so it's been 10 years, and the whole landscape of VR has changed since then. So there was a lot to take into consideration when I was writing Ready Player 2.
The event we did on Roblox in 2018 had 13 million people participate. Yeah. I think it's fair to say this is going to be even bigger.
That first Roblox event was amazing, and I heard about it from people all around the world were excited about it. And my eldest daughter, had been playing Roblox for years, so it was really exciting to have Ready Player One take over her favorite game for a while and have her compete in the contest. I warned her she couldn't win, which disappointed her, but she still had fun participating.
Yeah, I think when we talked at South by Southwest, you hinted a little about your daughter. I'm flattered to hear she's hanging on Roblox in the midst of all that's going on right now. So thank you for sharing that with us.
It's been a huge boon for, I think, kids everywhere. Just because it's like the Oasis, it's the closest thing to the Oasis the kids have right now. And just being able to jump in to Roblox whenever they get bored and be with their friends and spend time together in a virtual space has been really therapeutic. So you guys are doing good work.
So hey, you're making history with Ready Player 2. Let's roll back to Ready Player 1 because you captured the imagination, I think, of just so many people from so many walks of life. And there was a movie that came out of that, which was also incredible. Does anything stand out for all of us that, fantasize about making movies and being in the movies and working with Spielberg? Does anything stand out from